Electronic invoicing onboarding in Saudi Arabia. Onboarding is mandatory for all taxpayers who are subject to electronic invoicing in Saudi Arabia. As a result of the onboarding process, taxpayers obtain cryptographic stamp identifiers, CSIDs. CSIDs are required for integration with the electronic invoicing portal that is managed by the Saudi Arabian Tax Authority, ZATCA, and for further submission of electronic invoices. This blog how to onboard taxpayers and their electronic invoicing software with Saudi Arabian tax authorities. Prerequisites. The legal entity must be registered as a taxpayer in Saudi Arabia and must have a valid value-added tax, VAT, registration number. The legal entity must have the access to the Saudi Arabian taxation portal, ArraTech. Onboarding process. The onboarding process consists of 2 steps. 1. Obtain a compliance CSID, KSID, which ZATCA assigns to perform compliance checks of electronic invoice generation solutions, EXAs. 2. Obtain a production CSID, KSID, which ZATCA assigns to compliant EXAs. Obtain a KSID. 1. In the Saudi Arabian taxation portal, ArraTech, go to the onboarding and management portal by selecting the relevant tile. 2. On the main landing page of the onboarding and management portal, select the onboard new solution unit/device tile, and then select generate OTP code. 3. Select the number of one-time password, OTP, codes to generate. The number depends on the number of e-invoicing generation units, devices, that will be used. 4. Save the generated OTP codes so that you can use them in later steps. 5. Prepare a configuration file for the certificate signing request. This configuration file should be in the form of a plain text file that contains the following data. 6. Save the file to the same location as the onboarding. 7. In the configuration file, update the email address value and the following specific data. 8. Run the onboarding code that is provided later in this blog. Specify the OTP and configuration file as input parameters. Note: the password parameter is optional and can be omitted. If it's included, the certificate that is generated will have the specified password. 9. The KSID is received as a certificate file ksid.pfx, and the secret for KSID is saved as text file CSID secret.txt. Save this KSID certificate file in the System Key Vault certificate and save the secret in System Key Vault secret. For more information, refer to Customer Certificates and Secrets. 10. Configure the related feature setup in the Saudi Arabian Electronic Invoice SA, electronic invoicing feature, and reference the KSID certificate that you saved in the Key Vault. The certificate will be used for communication with the ZATCA electronic invoicing portal. Compliance check. After you obtain compliance CSID using the source code, ZATCA requires you to complete certain compliance checks by submitting sample invoices. This step is a prerequisite to request a production CSID. Ensure that all types of sample invoices that were configured in the certificate signing request, CSR, configuration file are successfully submitted to ZATCA. Use the standard process for issuing electronic invoices. Use the feature Saudi Arabian ZATCA Compliance Check, SA, in RCS and follow the country-specific configuration section steps using the compliance CSID you obtained. After the compliance checks are successfully complete, use the source code to obtain production CSID. Note: in the title field, if the document type in the configuration file is set to 1000, 3 sample invoices must be submitted for the compliance check. Standard tax invoice, standard debit note, standard credit note. In the title field, if the document type in the configuration file is set to 0100. 3 sample invoices must be submitted for the compliance check. Simplified tax invoice. Simplified debit note. Simplified credit note. If the document type is set to 1100, all 6 sample invoices must be submitted for the compliance check. Obtain UCSID. To obtain UCSID, you must correctly configure the solution for electronic invoice generation and submission, and the solution must be fully functioning. To achieve this result, you must complete all the required preliminary configuration steps. For more information, see. Get started with electronic invoicing for Saudi Arabia. 1. Make sure that all electronic invoices are successfully submitted to ZATCA. 2. Run the onboarding code that is provided later in this blog. Specify the UCSID as an input parameter. Note: the password parameter is optional and can be omitted. If it's included, the certificate that is generated will have the specified password. 3. The UCSID is received as a certificate file in PFX format. Save this UCSID certificate file in the key vault. 4. Configure the related features set up in the Saudi Arabian Electronic Invoice (SA) Electronic Invoicing feature. Replace the previously configured UCSID certificate with the obtained UCSID certificate that you saved in the key vault. After you complete all the configuration steps, the system is ready to be used in production mode. To review obtained CSIDs on the ZATCA side, use the Review Existing Cryptographic Stamp Identifier (CSID) tile on the landing page of the Onboarding and Management portal. This portal is accessible from the main Saudi Arabian taxation portal, ArraTech.